Come with us now, if you dare, down a rickety staircase into a dank, dark basement. What awaits? The Saturday Night Freak Show.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Saturday Night Freak Show podcast. The movie review and talk show podcast comes your way every Saturday, whether you're ready for it or not. These are the Internet Radio Superstars.
Michaela.
Sean.
And I'm Colin. And tonight we watched a movie that was chosen by
Sean. What did we watch tonight?
Tonight we watched Mosquito.
From the year?
1994.
All right.
Okay.
Officially. So this is what, the 30th?
30th
we're 30 years on
anniversary.
from it?
Wow, yeah.
31.
Wow,
Jesus.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oof. This show gets harder to do every year.
Yep, I know.
Every decade. Woo.
And it's directed by
Gary Jones.
who we would know from.
Okay. So Gary Jones likes to do a certain thing.
Okay.
As far as directing goes, this was his first feature film in
Okay,
1994.
Okay.
He did end up going on. He did TV, Xena Warrior Princess and Hercules, so he was part of that.
Gotcha.
The Honey, I Shrunk the Kids TV show. He did a couple episodes of that. His next movie was in 2000 called Spiders.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah?
So we have
No,
a
wait,
theme
was
here.
that Spiders 3D?
I mean, was the Spiders
see the
3D come out in
poster.
2000?
I can't remember. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
Screw you, IMDb. let me click on some shit. People
Nope, that's not it.
wrapped
Okay.
up in.
I have seen that cover somewhere.
Yeah, so have
Yeah.
I. I'm like that looks familiar. There's a TV show called Sheena, which he did. Wait, was that what's her
Sheena?
name? Was there a
Not the one
spinoff?
with Tanya. They made a TV show. Yeah, on
Okay.
Sheena, yeah.
Oh yeah, Tanya Roberts.
Yeah.
Was
Mhm.
Sheena. Okay.
Because that's didn't HR or H. Rider Haggard like create Sheena?
Oh, I don't know.
Right? King Solomon's Mine? I can't remember. Or maybe
Yeah.
it was Edgar Rice Burroughs. Anyway.
2002, Crocodile 2, Death Swamp.
Okay.
Jo-
Crocodile 2. Sequel to the Toby
Yes.
Hooper movie? Was it Toby Hooper did Crocodile? I can't remember.
Ooh. Maybe.
Okay, but moving on.
Moving on. In 2007, Planet Raptor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, 2007. I bet it's ugly.
This is
as
like
fuck.
an
It's an
asylum
ugly
film or
movie,
something.
Yeah, I bet it doesn't look good.
For the
at all.
Sci-Fi Channel probably back
Yeah.
then.
Oh.
Does anybody watch the Sci-Fi Channel anymore? Is
Planet
it
Raptor.
around?
I think it's an alien movie,
don't
though.
know.
Sci-Fi Channel? Yeah, except it's sci-fi now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Thanks for clarifying.
No problem.
It's not sci-fi. It's sci-fi.
It's sci-fi.
Yeah.
Ghouls in 2008.
Okay.
Boogeyman 3 in 2008 as well. So he jumped on the Boogeyman thing.
Okay.
Xenophobia in 2008. Lightning Strikes in 2009. Ballistic in 2009. Not X versus Sever. Just Ballistic.
Okay.
So not that one.
All right. So he has a.
yeah. Escape from Deathlock 13 in 2021 was his last
Oh,
directed
no. He's
movie.
making prison movies. Great.
Yeah. Yeah. When the creatures aren't there, you got to just put everybody in one place.
So this is a creature feature.
Mhm.
This is a creature feature. Giant mosquitoes.
Okay, and
Pretty
you
quickly.
also mentioned he was worked with Xena, Warrior Princess,
Yep.
right? Hercules.
Yep.
This movie, Michaela established, was filmed in
The woods outside Detroit, Michigan.
The woods of Detroit.
So that puts him in the orbit of Detroit's favorite son, Sam Raimi,
No, I didn't know Sam Raimi was from Detroit.
or in Michigan.
I had no idea.
What?
Really?
No, I didn't know
That's
Michigan.
how he knows Bruce Campbell and everything.
Oh, from
They all, yeah.
Oh, I didn't
They're
know.
all
I
from
didn't know it was
Michigan.
like
Yes.
Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No idea.
they're all like, well, they filmed
Good
it
to
in
know.
Tennessee, Evil Dead, but they're all from Michigan.
Yeah,
so
only
I think-
Tennessee has woods that evil.
Is that like when you do a low budget movie in Michigan, you're just automatically compared to Sam Raimi? So
think so.
there is connective tissue to this movie. So MF Mad, the keeper of the Saturday Night Freak Show Wall of
We're
Fame,
putting
wants
somebody
to-
on the wall for
we
this
are
movie?
putting someone on the wall.
Is it
And-
Gunner?
No, it is Josh Becker. Okay,
Okay.
so
Oh, okay.
Josh Becker was in The Evil Dead, which we did on this show, as a car shemp,
Okay.
uncredited
A car shemp?
shemp.
Okay.
So-
wow, there's a connection as
Yep.
well.
Do we have to explain what a shemp is to those who don't
Yes.
know? Okay, go ahead.
Because I don't
No,
know.
well, Shemp was one of the, I want to say, like, was he like one of the original Three Stooges?
But what
that-
is a car shemp?
He, well, in Evil Dead, when they made him, made the movie, they would just call all their, like,
PAs?
like characters in the movie, you know,
Oh,
it would just be a Shemp,
The extras.
you know.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So then he was in the car as a ghoul or something at some point. He was also in. He was uncredited in that. He was uncredited as a carnival goer in Darkman.
Oh, okay.
All right. He was around when the fucking pink elephant was given
Take
to...
the fucking
Take the fucking elephant.
And he was Camper Steve in Mosquito, who I think is the guy who sits up and has like one line. But Josh Becker, I remember, directed a movie back, this is probably in the mid 80s. It was called Thou Shalt Not Kill Except, but it was, I think, one of those like low budget shot on 8mm, 16mm that you heard about whenever they would talk about like Evil Dead and like these indie movies. Josh Becker made one, and he, I think, did like some PA work on the Evil Dead. So he's in this movie. So there you go.
You think that's why they called the band the Shemps?
Yes.
Okay.
The band in this movie, we're saying that performs the shredding guitar riffs at the end. Were they the Stooges or the Shemps?
The Shemps, which is also the connection because Ron Ashton is in this movie, who was a Stooge.
Oh, right.
Ah.
So there you go.
So that's there's so many connections there.
To the Three Stooges, may they rest.
Okay. Well, this was the band, the Stooges, but you get it, dear listener. Okay.
Who was Ron Ashton in the movie?
Ron Ashton is, what was he, Hendrix?
Was he Hendrix? Oh, that's why he was the lead credited, behind the star of the movie.
Yeah. The star of the movie, Gunnar Hansen.
Who we would all know from...
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
He is Leatherface.
His thing he is going to forever in every movie that he appears in.
Forever and ever.
Yeah.
The reason why
I think he is.
He's dead now, so
He has passed.
We've answered that question. Yes, that is what he's known for.
Check out always with a chainsaw in a movie, whatever.
Check out his book, Chainsaw Confidential.
It's really good.
It's a very good movie, or a very good book.
Wasn't he in Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers? I think
he would have to be, right?
Yeah.
If it's Chainsaw on your title, you tried to get Gunnar Hansen.
Wasn't he like an extremely accomplished writer and like taught college courses at one point?
I think so.
Yeah,
he was
in literature, I think, or something like that.
I think he was a literature major. Yeah, because it was always weird to to know that that's what he did and everything, but also kind of be like, all right, but you were also Leatherface in one of the craziest movies ever made.
Once. He was really nice.
I know he
really
was always on the
polite, gentle.
Yeah, he looks like a gentle giant.
Yeah.
The convention circuit. They'd have like haunted houses, and he'd show up, whatever to sign. So he was like always, on the move, I guess, throughout the rest of his career and life.
Sure.
So. I mean, I guess the idea that you have Gunnar Hansen in your movie is like what you put on the top of the poster, right?
Yep.
But Gunnar
it
Hansen
got me interested.
Yeah,
it worked on me.
Is that like what happens? It's like you played a masked killer in a, granted, it's like, on the Mount Everest of horror movies, but for the rest of your life, then you could just like
work off that.
Yeah. I mean,
why not?
I mean, his acting chops are,
they're there.
Perfect for this movie.
This movie. Okay.
Well, he was. He did very well in a role where he wore a mask and didn't say anything. Let's just say that. I love you. I love him, but
Yeah. Okay. So what we've got here is a creature feature, which we have established is a type of movie, right? I think in our past episodes, this is a type of movie that originates like in the 1950s,
right,
with a format that they just continued to use for years.
This made me think of Popcorn, which came out like right around the same time, right?
Yeah, what was was that 94?
I was like, I think it was in the same year.
94, 95?
So. Or that was 91 maybe, but in the 90s.
Were either dead on or way off.
Yeah, they but I mean, like, we watched Slugs, which had like, there's like a pattern, I guess.
Popcorn was 91, yeah.
Okay.
To 50s era, like.
We watched The Blob, didn't we?
Yep, we watched the Blob remake.
80s Blob, yeah.
It turns out that, what was it, Andre, not Toth, what was his name? Not Andre Link. But anyway, the producer on this movie, it turns out, like, also produced The Blob in 1988.
Yeah, there was some crossover between them.
So what's the format established by like the 50s B movie creature feature, right? Is always like something
something regular, something either radioactive or insert event here.
From space, usually.
Usually from space.
Right.
Or some man-made chemical spill or what have you. That animal gets mixed up with that, and we get larger mutated animal, causes chaos in the local nearest town. And then a group of scrappy survivors must fight them off.
But who is your general in all these like movies that you've seen? Like your cast of characters is going to be made up of usually a young couple.
Usually, yeah.
Usually either
somebody who's is doing their first day on the job.
Yep.
Right.
Usually.
Somebody who has like a science, usually they're connected
usually a scientist.
Yeah, there's always a scientist
who
in
can
there
explain
somewhere.
what's going on or theorize as we go through.
And sometimes like
smart ass bystanders who don't want to be there.
Right. And local authority.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're mixing and matching these characters.
Yes.
So sometimes they have a little bit of the personality of the other one, and like which one's going to be the main character.
Right.
But that's basically what we have.
Yeah.
And the giant monster menace.
Right. And,
and sometimes Dr. Odyssey had all these same on their two-night shark special.
We've been on a Dr.
watched.
Odyssey kick, ladies and gentlemen.
There was the will there, won't they couple. There was the scientist that was autistic, so he knew everything and was a super genius. Is how they did it in Dr. Odyssey.
Right, because they have to come up with an answer, and he's got to have it.
He has to be able to explain the very like minute details of this scientific, super specific experience. Like rapid fire.
Yep.
So,
Well, is that also like a part of these? Then you have to have somebody who's opposed to the scientist, who's always like, but come on, Doc, that can't be. There's always that guy.
Well, there's always
doubter.
There's always got to be friction for the scientists, so they're not just going with one thing. Because usually that person who's against the scientist will discover something that throws a curveball, maybe in the end of the second act, leading into the third act, something like that.
Yeah.
There's also usually like a criminal element sometimes, or like somebody who's quote unquote a bad guy who ends up coming into the group of people who are trying to fight this off, and he's like against them to start off. But then he's just like, all right, you guys convinced me. I'll work with you and we'll get out of this. And then by the end, he usually sacrifices himself to help everybody else with the heart of gold.
Redemption.
Yeah, redemption. You usually find that character. You don't like him off the bat, but usually they'll sacrifice themselves.
So what we're saying is you can see all the beats of this movie coming.
Yeah. And concerning we've seen enough of these movies, you can see them all coming. But are you entertaining if you can see them all coming is the question.
Right.
And that is the thing, I guess, that it falls on the filmmaker. It's like, okay, you got that's the stew. That's the ingredients. You got to somehow put it together and make it entertaining. So, Mosquito, how's this movie begin? Because I guess I didn't
with aliens,
in
Colin.
my bingo card.
In a Mosquito movie, we start in outer space.
Yes, which
why not?
Immediately lost. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, forget local science. We need space science to come down.
Yep.
War of the Worlds, this shit.
Well, this was
crash
like,
landing.
I mean,
we'll talk about the Spielberg connection because it feels like there's a few, even if they're superficial.
Okay,
but they're there.
Well, this had, I mean, like the opening minutes of this movie is like, wow, this is just a updating of a 1950s trope.
Yep.
Although I guess with like 90s era special effects, we do see, and that's why I was like, what was the budget on this all of a sudden? Because it's like, it's got, ships in space and then something comes off and falls to Earth.
It does.
And then there's the fireball meteor and the couple that look like they're like, 1950s farmers who witnessed this.
We kept watching this movie wondering what movie did they steal all of this from?
Like all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like literally? Did they take the footage?
With the space footage, I'm like, what did we steal this from?
Yeah,
what
like
movie
literally,
from
what
this?
did they clip it out?
Right.
Yeah.
Is this from any sort of production company associated with this, or they're just like, use our B-roll from this movie from whatever years ago?
I didn't recognize. Maybe it was shot
I didn't
for this
either.
movie.
But I feels like maybe it was again a $200,000 budget. I don't know.
I
don't believe it either. But again, look at the mosquitoes in this movie.
Yeah.
So we get a crash landing of aliens, and we get our War of the Worlds shot.
Literally.
Literally.
We're not just using that as a metaphor. It is the same alien arm from the movie.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Spielberg copied this shot for his movie. You actually see the arm falling out.
From the original 50s movie.
Right, no, it's from the 50s one. Spielberg also did it again later on.
At the end of the 50s War of the Worlds, right, the alien ship crash lands, a door opens off the bottom of it, and the alien, like, three-fingered hand falls
with
out.
those suction cup fingertips.
Yeah. That's what this is.
It's what it is.
Yeah. But this movie, so then what happens?
Well, I mean, bugs got to eat.
So,
my friend.
Well, because it crash lands in a swamp.
It does. And what's in a swamp? Mosquitoes.
Yeah, we see one being birthed
That was so gross.
The most expensive shot in the movie, by the way. They had to pay for that B-roll, $1,500. That's the most money put behind it. But disgusting. I don't want to see a mosquito being birthed.
Yeah.
So a mosquito then flies over and lands on the alien and sucks its blood, and we fade out. We're like, oh shit, here it comes. So the farmer couple, they didn't even need to be in the movie. They just witnessed the shit. There's they don't say anything. I don't think
this is Fallen Star.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to move on to
cut
the
to like
proper.
2 seconds later, and we see the aftermath of this mosquito that sucked on that alien.
Did we like right? What happened?
It's so quick because isn't the next thing like the couple driving the car?
It is.
It's the next shot.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So they're driving the car for like 2 seconds.
Not the farm couple.
No.
This is a different couple.
Yeah, this is our main our main characters of the movie. Some of our main characters who I'm gonna have to look up their names because Ray and Meg, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Now Megan.
I don't have a good now. Megan, I got right.
Okay, yeah.
She is a college student. In the scientific field.
It would appear so.
Just general science.
General science.
Like general evil. We have general
Yep, general
science. She has been hired. See, this was, I was like, but she's going to be a park ranger. Okay. So, but Ray, I'm a little more nebulous on, like, who is he?
I got nothing.
Yeah, he's just the boyfriend who, the wannabe action star? I don't know. He really is not much.
I know. Yeah, I think he's
not
the weakest link in this movie.
He is. He's not a meathead.
No.
We've seen some of those leather jacket wearing meatheads in some of these movies who are just like, what the fuck is going on? Stop looking at my girl. Hey, what's this bug doing here? Let's fucking kill it. Like, you get those characters.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Spookies most of all. Because that guy in it was great. But no, he's just kind of, I don't know. They want to...
Well, if
he was lucky, he'd be the John McClane in this movie, but he's not.
But we know that that's what they're thinking. This guy kind of has that look. You're like, okay, this is going to be Action Man.
Yeah,
the end of the movie.
Yes. Because they do get him in a wife beater at some point, and it's just like, well, there you go.
But I don't understand what qualifications that he has for it. Like, they don't set up that he was a football star, didn't like he's running back.
Right, he's not wearing a Letterman jacket, so we don't know that.
He's not, he doesn't have any kind of military background, which would be the other thing that you'd expect. Or some kind of something to say that, like, he's a guy who can handle.
You know what, Colin? Ordinary people get attacked by giant mosquitoes, too.
I know, but I think you need that. Like, here's, like, he's been waiting, like, he had this training or something, and then now he gets to use it. No, okay,
nope.
So he's just the boyfriend,
and
he's like fourth build in the end credits. It turns out.
Yep.
Okay, so minutes after they're driving to her new job, and what happens?
And immediately a huge, and I'm talking like
the size of a deer.
A small baby deer flies in front of their car. This is a giant mosquito, and they splatter it like what's his name from RoboCop across their windshield. And it splatters.
Explodes.
It does explode across the windshield. It gets stuck in the part of it gets stuck in the front of it. It's proboscis. A word that gets thrown around a lot. You've thrown around a lot on this podcast. Previous, it's proboscis is stuck in there. And so they hit this thing and they get out to inspect it, and their reaction to a giant mosquito is a little underwhelming. Because this thing is fucking huge and it looks like a giant mosquito, something that you would never see in real life. And these folks are like, it's fine. It's okay. It's like, we don't know what it is. Like, it's a giant bug.
Yeah.
And they're not scared of it at all.
Well, a lot of this.
Perturbed by it.
Okay, so the performances in this movie
are $200,000 budget-wise performances.
And I kind of got the impression, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said this is the director's first movie.
Yes.
So he's giving direction, like, look over there and react. But he's not, like, calibrating that performance.
Right,
so a lot of times it's like, okay, was it the actor? They're just doing what the director tells them, and he's not going like, no, you have to be, this thing is coming right,
Yeah.
So you get a lot of like, yeah, okay, there's a thing over there. A lot of times, tonally, the performances don't seem to match the
events that are happening within the movie. Yes, yeah, truly. And probably the filmmaker's focus was on, effects.
Yeah,
at this point.
So we'll talk about the effects then. So this,
pretty darn good.
We're gonna see a lot of mosquitoes, I guess, which I was surprised by, assuming that this was like a low budget, 90s flick, and apparently they said $200,000. If you believe that,
yeah.
Okay, so
what somebody laundered some money and made some money disappear in this movie.
Yeah. So what are the creatures like? I mean, like from a practical standpoint,
it looks like
what
a
do we have there?
full-bodied huge mosquito, like just designed down to what you would think a huge mosquito looks like. Very detailed, very well done.
The reservoir in the abdomen we see pulsate and fill up with blood.
Yeah,
the proboscis is functional on a lot of them.
Yeah,
they got articulated wings.
Yeah.
They do. The green slime coming out of the proboscis. We're going to say that word a lot more during this podcast. Coming out of that, I'm pretty sure where the blood fills up, it's just like red balloons that expand to do it, which is
it looks pretty good.
But they pull it off. It's convincing. It's great.
Yeah.
Like you get the idea, and it looks disgusting, which is what it needs to be.
At some point, like later on in the movie, there is going to be like the aliens style people shotgunning things coming at them from all over the place, and the explosion of these things getting shotgunned.
Yep.
And then I was sitting there going like, okay, so how many of these things did they make?
Right.
Because it feels like there's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like 20
at least.
Because they shotgun.
Like. Right, just going by how many they
shotgunning the same one over and over again.
This is always what I wonder. Is like if and God forbid I suggest that there was ever a 2-camera setup on this movie. Because but maybe they're just like, all right, 2 cameras for every time we explode one, so we get at least 2 angles, which we can then reverse the footage in post. We got 4 angles.
Locations.
These people are using their money.
Yeah, I don't know. I was impressed, and I couldn't tell because I know when they were making Aliens was
there were like 5.
There was 6. There was 6 alien suits, but they blow up. I think a bunch of fake puppets.
Right,
but there were 5. There were 6 suits in that movie, and I was like, okay, how many are we getting away with here? Because there seemed like, I mean, they just kept showing up. They were running them over with the car, and like these. I like the way they flop. Their legs are like, so it looked like a physical, thing, not a computer generated effect.
Though we do get some of that. We get a lot. There's stop motion in this.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was computer generated.
There may have been like
there were. I think digital composites.
Okay, a lot of composites. No digitally created mosquitoes. Everything was just composites and models and shit.
And then animated, stop motion animated ones. Still, I mean, that's kind of like impressive for.
I think it's very impressive
that it's like, wow, you pulled a lot. You got a lot out of this.
A lot out of it. I was not expecting this.
Yeah,
especially for like a mid-90s creature feature.
Right.
Your experience most of the time not going to be great, and it's not going to feel like a lot of money was put towards it. This felt like really good. I give them props.
A lot of the effects in this were not so much like the flying, but like the body horror stuff. We'll get to. I feel like that looked better than some of the stuff in Bats. Remember Bats?
Oh yeah,
Bats was, and that had way more of a budget. And that movie was so puppety and like we thought the puppets were cute, but like
we did, and they did have a little personality. The two main bats.
Yes, but that was way after this. Yeah. After this and more money, and it looks shittier.
Aliens and don't come after me for this, but Aliens might be a good thing to mirror this up against. It just based on everything that happens to them in this movie.
And there's I guess there's some sequences of it where I was thinking about Aliens. I mean, I ended up thinking about Aliens and then eventually Night of the Living Dead.
As soon as they came to that house, I was like, Night of the Living Dead. And then they fulfilled that.
Yeah.
Big time.
This is the second movie we've watched on the Freak Show where Gunnar Hansen was barricaded inside of a house.
What was the other one? It was the beginning of
Texas Chainsaw 3D, and they're all locked down in the house, and they have the windows up.
Right, and he plays Elder Hewitt.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. They were the Hewitts in that one, not the Sawyers. The Hewitts. Okay, so our cast of characters. Then we've got the 2 college kids.
Yeah, we got the Lovebirds.
Okay, one of whom's going to become a park ranger. Then we have the ranger himself, which is your guy from the Stooges.
Yep.
Which is Hendrix.
Ron Ashley.
So who's
Hendrix.
he, and what's his deal?
He's kind of the lowest man on the totem pole as far as the park rangers go. He's the one who gets all the shit jobs, and so he is assigned to to fog the campgrounds to keep people away from the mosquitoes because the head ranger is like Apocalypse Now for mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
that. That was hilarious.
He's just
It's like they're out there right now and they want to land it. They want to suck you dry.
right. The enemy is coming, and we must protect the people out there.
Yeah.
And so he gives this whole speech about that, and he's talking about mosquitoes. But then Hendrix ends up having to fog the entire campground. Literally, he's just fogging people. Maybe that's why everyone's dead later on. It's
Yeah,
not the
they got
mosquitoes.
fogged.
They just
Yeah.
all got fogged to death.
I guess this was kind of surprising because I guess the, it's like, okay, you make these movies bigger in scope by having the people that have to, there's a group of people that are going to fall prey to
Yes.
your creature at
Yes.
some point. The park is going to open or the river, everybody's going to be down at the camp or, whatever.
Yep.
So here they have a campground and there's a ton of people there.
Surprisingly, yeah, because I thought getting into this might be one of those movies where there are 8 people in the movie and those are the only people we're going to see. But we had, at least a couple crowd shots and some extras in this. There was quote unquote beach volleyball. It was, camp volleyball at that point.
The little montage of summer in the 90s at the beginning was pretty nostalgic.
We're volleyballing. Kids
Yes.
are playing with shit. Yeah. It was a nice little montage.
Because this is like some sort of summer camp setup. It's like a bunch of cabins, I guess. Campground, maybe. Yeah. They're all really close together, though.
So I guess my thought was that like the campers would become imperiled later, like in the third act.
Too much
right?
money, Colin. Too many people, too much money.
Yeah, because they do
Straight
it's
to
like
the aftermath.
First act,
Yeah.
right? It's like the climax of the first act is like that place getting attacked and everybody dies, but we don't see it
Yeah.
because I guess they didn't have the money for that.
No, the most they would do in this movie is have one of the camp people like eating a hot dog and then you see like a shadow go over them. And they
Right.
look up like,
Right.
oh, and then we see the aftermath.
Yeah.
That's how you do that.
No, I know. He looks up and sees the shadow, says, huh? And then the proboscis comes
Right
down
through
into
the
the hot dog.
And then you get hot dog, proboscis through hot dog through person.
Yes.
And then you cut away
Yeah.
and you see aftermath. Yeah.
But we do get a couple of
We could make this movie so easy.
Yeah.
you just got to change it's not a mosquito,
Yeah.
it's a
Literally pull something out of a
firefly.
hat, we'll make
Yeah.
it work, you know?
Yeah. Again, that's the math equation I was
It's the
doing
Mad
earlier.
Libs,
This
yeah.
plus this equals this. So you just trade out what you put in there.
So what are there's a couple of introductory kills and how well did they pull those off?
Which ones?
What are the introductory ones? We get the one park ranger who has left Hendrix to like you're on
the
night
boat.
shift. He goes fishing with his buddy.
He goes fishing. So he goes fishing with his buddy. This grab ass going on, and then you hear them flying over. They come from? They eventually end up underwater. They're attacked on the boat out on the lake.
Yeah,
and
the one
everything.
guy's attacked in the boat.
Oh, he gets in the eye.
Yeah.
That's a
That
good
was
one.
pretty good.
He gets attacked on the boat. He gets a proboscis in the eye.
yeah.
It's a great word.
I've been saying it wrong, my
We've
Or
been saying
is she
proboscis
saying it
before,
wrong?
but
Yeah.
she's saying, well, I'm going to go with her. I don't know. Proboscis. Right in the eye, so he gets his brain sucked out and everything. And the other dude ends up in the water getting attacked, but he ends up running through the woods. How does he die?
There's a chase scene, which again I was trying to figure out how they did because there is a mosquito.
Like a fucking zip line.
Yeah.
Like the way
Yeah.
they shoot these things, it's effective because it looks like they're fucking zooming through the woods.
I want to push the mosquito zip line. I'll go at the end. Let's go. It's time. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, what you imagine? It's motorized, and so its legs and its head and its wings are flapping,
Right.
and it's just riding a zip line
Yeah.
or something through the woods, and you're tracking with it, and then the point of view shots, which seemed borrowed from Evil Dead,
Oh, yeah.
like some kind of hyperactive camera,
Right.
That could
But
run around.
never anything sped up. Which is what you would expect if you want your creature to go faster in a low budget movie, that they would just speed up the footage to make it
Right.
look like that. None of that happened in this. This is like literal dude being chased through it, and it's going quick. And
Yeah.
you were wondering I was wondering how it was being done because
I'm like,
like
are they dropping
how
this
are they
from a
whipping it?
helicopter?
Right.
Right, how are they
There's no
whipping this
wind.
through the
It's like,
woods?
Is there a bucket truck like swinging over
Yeah.
the?
Right.
Is it on a big fishing line? I don't know.
Yeah, you just have the camera and the crane arm lined up, and then you just follow it as it goes.
Yeah.
Like, who knows?
So kudos to the production for being able to pull that off.
Yeah.
He ends up, I think, being stabbed.
In a tree. Yeah, he gets a couple of them who feast on him. That's true.
Then there's a couple that are having sex in a tent. And
oh yeah, this should have been.
Proboscises.
So we were talking about this whole movie. We were trying to figure out where this took place and where it was filmed, and this was like where we started to get context clues because they're drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon. They're having sex on top of brats. They literally roll over on that. I was like, oh god, this is.
Yeah,
right. So we're like, oh look, clues.
Yeah.
PBR. It's got to be Midwest somewhere. We were narrowing it down. It's like Illinois, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
We were close.
We're close.
PBR, brats, and mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Illinois or Wisconsin.
Yeah. I don't remember even what happened to the guy. I think
he got. Ooh. Well, he leaves to go to the bathroom.
First. Yeah,
pisses his pants because he doesn't pull it out.
The giant mosquito crawls into the tent with her.
Yeah,
and as she's trying to get away, it stabs her in a butt cheek and kills her that way.
Which bravo to the filmmakers for not doing the obvious.
I know. I was like, oh no, don't follow Evil Dead down this path.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
So bravo to them.
Especially because we see it's like little feelers going up her leg.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't handle this if this is going where I think it is.
Yeah.
But I know. Honestly, I think getting stabbed in your butt cheek would really hurt.
Right?
Like that. Your butt's pretty sensitive.
And then it fills up, so it's sucking in the.
Oh yeah, it's like liposuction right out of there.
And he, I think, he looks skyward, and there's the idea that there's hundreds of these things.
Think so,
maybe we get a shot.
He gets swarmed, doesn't he?
So it's not just one mosquito. It's all of them, right?
There are so many mosquitoes. More to come.
The other character, well, there's a couple other characters. There's the scientist character that we talked about. He is a meteorologist, not a meteorologist, a real meteorologist.
Parks, yes,
because he's chasing down the meteor.
Yes, yes.
Right. Is it can you use that word? Is a meteorologist or just for the weather?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right. There's a different, probably a different name for that.
Yeah.
It says meteor chaser in the IMDb because even Wikipedia was like, we're not going to call him.
Yeah,
it's not right. Yeah. So yes.
So he's in the park with his Geiger counter or whatever, wandering around trying to find
radiation, gamma or otherwise.
And he teams up with Ray and
Meg.
Yep. Because they got a proboscis in the radiator of their car and they're stuck. So he gives them a ride, and so they hook up and they find, I think, the dead body of the guy on the boat.
Yes, they do.
So this launches the investigation. Oh my God, there's something, that's happening here. And we're going to have to deal with it. So the next set of characters that's the wild card characters, right?
This is Gunnar Hansen and he's got a weird redneck family.
Yep.
That he's just with. One of them who's definitely going channeling Bill Moseley.
Yeah. And
definitely.
They're in fatigues.
Right.
They're out in the middle of nowhere and they're armed and they're attacked by these mosquitoes, so they're able to pull out rifles and shoot at them, and we're like, okay, are they survivalists or something? What the fuck are they doing out there?
Criminals, because apparently they just knocked someplace over.
So we don't find that out until later. A scene later or something. They've robbed a bank or something, and they're on the lam.
Somebody's got a lot of $5 bills.
Yeah. So I think, one of their number, there's three of them. One of them gets killed, but not by the mosquito.
No, he went to an outhouse at least 2 miles into the woods, and we thought he was going to get Friday the 13th Part 5.
Right.
We thought he was going to get enchilated.
Yes.
But he did not. He sees one and he runs away, and he gets chased a lot. He eventually gets shot by his cousin, I think.
See, this was disappointing. You can't tease a outhouse kill and not follow through on it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I didn't need to see this guy's ass either.
No,
that didn't add to this experience.
Whoever thinks that ever needs to be part of any horror movie.
Yep.
Well, I assume it's
no one enjoys it.
It's for a comedic effect.
Oh, I laughed so hard.
Try to lean into the comedy in a really hacky way,
especially with these characters,
yes.
Which I'm glad they kind of don't continue with it. I know the characters die, but I'm glad that it doesn't that theme doesn't continue on. I'm just I don't like this. It's not funny.
Right.
I don't want to continue to watch it. These guys are idiots. I'm glad they died.
So now we've got Gunnar Hansen and his brother, with the stash of money, wandering through the woods, and eventually all of our characters are going to meet. I guess I was kind of surprised when we returned to the camp, because I think the Parks takes the other couple to where she's supposed to work, right? And they find the sheriff or the park ranger is dead.
Right. The one who gave the speech. Yeah, he's dead. Been sucked dry. And then we're seeing desiccated corpses.
Yeah. Well, those are pretty good.
Those are good. They look good.
They do look good.
They look like corpses from Space Vampires.
Oh, Life Force.
Life Force.
Yeah.
They look like corpses from Life Force at this point. Yeah.
I do like that they put like that kind of greenish yellow tinge on a lot of the effects that make it look more buggy and gross.
Yeah, like the aftermath of that. The grossness.
Mucus,
the aftermath. Ooh, mucus aftermath. Let's jot that down.
Sounds like a shitty new metal band, doesn't it?
Mucus aftermath. Ooh, I like it. Copyright 2025 Saturday Freak Show.
And I guess it turns out that like all the campers are dead. There's a pretty good scene where we see back for yards. There's like, I don't know, 30 campers.
At least 30 campers, which is like everyone on the crew. This is your day to be in the movie.
Everyone lay down right now.
Right. We're all going to paint you like George Romero zombies.
Yep.
And you're going to be in this movie and you're all dead.
It was amusing to me because looking at like, clearly it was like,
the staging.
you figure out like how you died.
Somebody's got a leg up on a, yeah, exactly. That's what's fun about it. Just like, because these people put into a thought, some of them are just like, all right, I'm dead. But some of them thought about like, all right, how did I die? How is my body positioned?
Well, see, this is why you need to watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because there's an episode where D becomes an extra in an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Is M. Night Shyamalan in the show?
No.
Damn.
Right. But
I'll still watch it.
And she's like a dead body that's like covered in blood, right? And she's like, I made up a whole backstory for my character, and she's going on and on about it, and she's like, and then my zombie got killed like this, and they're like, this is a Holocaust movie, not a zombie movie. So you should watch that episode. It's
right.
great.
So this kind of is like your backstory is now everyone else's backstory. There's only one reason you died. That's funny.
Hendrix
yes.
survives the massacre, which we don't see, unfortunately. The campers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. Because we do find him under a boat.
Yep. So he has survived, and so now we have our principal cast.
Right.
Well,
we're gathering our survivors, our stragglers.
So this is like going into Act 2. So the survivors now are like, okay, so there's something out there. I think they've identified at this point they are giant mosquitoes.
Yes.
And we have to get to the city, get help, because apparently there's no phones
All
anywhere,
communication is down. Go to the city.
Oh, that's right, because the mosquitoes apparently cut the power.
They should be called mosquitoes. I like that better. Mosquito.
So instead of taking Parks's Jeep, because, I mean, who wants to have an open air conveyance
when you're being attacked by proboscises?
So
so much proboscis.
They find an RV.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, we're going to escape in this RV. And of course, as they're getting into it, there's oh my God, they're coming. Here they come. And we get like the mosquitoes there's a chase scene.
There is a chase scene, and it's done very well. Very well.
Pretty good.
We're going that was a model.
I was surprised to see this in this movie.
Surprised.
So, yeah.
Very surprised. Especially some of it's got to be a model, right? I know there is model work, and I'm pretty sure this is part of that model work.
Yeah,
but
Wikipedia
also
said this was a model, yeah.
Yeah, but shot very well.
I know,
like those
like
some of those moving
this is
shots.
Like from a bigger, dare I say, better movie, like, because you got the model track with all the little miniature trees in front of it. You can like run the camera behind the trees and see the,
Yep.
And this thing's like covered with these like giant mosquitoes, right? And they're getting
or who are also not only covered by it. So because they can't just get away with like, we're going to place these on there and it's going to look like they're on there and everything. The composite shots where they're flying right along with the thing. Sometimes they are just with it. Like
they're getting run over and their bodies are being tossed aside from the wheels.
Or stuck in the wheel and spinning around with it. Impressed. Surprised.
Yeah, I know.
And impressed.
I was shocked.
So this is a whole attack scene, a whole chase scene.
How did Gunnar Hansen and his surviving brother get on board the RV?
They stopped the RV because the the Mosley of it all stopped him and waved him out. I was like, hey, we need help and everything. And of course, our scientist pulls over to help him out.
And then they're like,
right. They try and hijack him. They're just like, it's ours now and you're going to die.
Yeah. But then there's bugs coming. And I think
there's a fight. There's fight scenes.
Yeah.
Where they take over. And of course, everyone in the RV also has like shotguns and guns and everything. So they overtake them pretty quickly. Cuff them up, shove them in the back of the RV, and get the hell out of there because
they overtake the aggressors. The
Gunnar Hansen and his cousin.
And they're like, tie them up. We can't leave them out here because they're
because they're good people. Sure.
And they're like, okay, we're taking them with.
Yeah.
And then there's power dynamics in the van.
Right, there's standoffs. There's just like, hey, untie us so we can help, and it's like, give me the hatchet, and then they hatchet one of them, and then they turn it on Meg. The mosquito, then they turn it on Meg and hold her hostage. There's a standoff in the middle of the thing. Why the scientist guy just didn't like hit the brakes?
Right.
Send everybody going. This is what I was
driving.
Wanted to yell the whole time.
And I guess this is it also trying to establish, like, it's trying to put Ray in, like, action movie guy, because I'm like, we're going to talk about this movie without talking about him. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, so he's supposed to be, like, action dude, right? So
no offense, action.
No offense to our
no offense, action.
They're establishing a dynamic that he's challenging Gunnar Hansen, right? And so they have like this kind of back and forth that eventually evolves into like a mutual respect.
Sure,
you know. So the RV
but still makes him the least interesting character out of all.
Yes.
Sorry, Ray.
The RV comes under attack by all the mosquitoes that are getting in and breaking through the windows and all this. And
so we get a lot of mosquitoes breaking the sides of windows, a lot of gunshots, a lot of things getting blown up. It's crazy.
And I believe, actually, everybody survives this encounter that ends with a stunt.
Yep.
Which we are thinking was a miniature, but it's convincing. I mean, I was sitting there going like, I'm not 100% sure it was a miniature. I mean, just thinking how they did it, I'm like, it must be a miniature, but it looks pretty good.
Looks great.
Looks great, yeah.
And then you're like, this movie cost more than you think it did. But yeah, I mean, the like Friday the 13th part 6, I guess, right? The Winnebago like ends up
flips
careening over and crashing.
Yeah, not as many wide shots in this one. Can't go quite that wide to be convincing.
It comes right up to the camera.
It really does.
So now I was unclear why the mosquito attack stopped once they crashed. Because they're able to get out and they're like, we have to run because they're going to come at us again. But like, there's no threat of mosquitoes, even though they've been chased and like,
right.
Yeah. Well, they killed that wave and, they're waiting on the second wave.
Okay.
Reinforcements have not come yet.
And so they run. However, we do lose a character at this point because
he goes back for his stash.
Gunnar Hansen's brother, right? The expendable one at this point.
Yeah.
And that was the bad thing to do. Greed, right? Because Gunnar Hansen was like, he's been stabbed with a proboscis. Proboscis.
Right.
And
pretty deeply.
Right. I think actually the girl stabbed him with the
did he get away from him?
Proboscis. And so he is stabbed with a real one, like a mosquito comes down.
Right.
So I was kind of disappointed.
And he's like, he gets attacked. He's come down. Like, he gets the good, like, sucked to death, where he is sucked dry. His eyeballs
his
bulge.
Eyes explode.
Oh,
this
so
is
gross. The good
Yeah.
sucked to death.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
It's where they put the money in. It's kind of like Total Recall or something. His eyes pop out of his head.
Not to go back to Spookies, but it's also like the guy who got sucked to death in Spookies, where he's just like,
very nice,
fun.
Better effect than I expected from this movie.
I know. There was a thank you to K&B
was there?
effects at the end of the movie, but is it just because? I mean, was that like an actual thank you or like a thank you?
You inspired us.
Inspiration.
And somebody probably worked with someone or someone came over for a day. I'm sure there was a lot of just like unofficial work on this movie maybe as well. Who knows, But yeah, thank him.
So they end up hiking it through the storm drain. I think it's like the whole. This is with the very aliens-y part of the movie where they're shotgunning down. They eventually end up in a is it a cistern? What is it that all the drains lead into?
Right into yes.
Right.
Okay, I think I missed something. Why did they go down here to begin with?
Because there was another incoming wave, and they were just all out in the open, and they had nowhere to go. And one dude, scientist, goes, "I found a place."
Okay, gotcha.
Out of nowhere, and it's like it's a sewer.
Yeah.
And so they crawl in there. There's an action sequence where they're blasting mosquitoes coming at them, and then they light fires. They light all their shirts on fires.
So now they're all in sexy white tank tops.
Yep.
You know, because it's an action movie.
For the rest of the movie.
And you know it's getting into the third act because the layers come off.
Right, as more clothes come away.
Yeah.
And more muscles and more sweat.
Yeah,
And, the shiny
and grease stains.
sinew. Yeah. They got to get it all in there.
That one guy really thinks he's an action guy.
He really
the way
does.
he's delivering these lines and kind of like posturing, he really thinks this is his moment.
There's a lot of like, hey,
yeah.
a lot of pointing, a lot of action pointing.
Yeah.
Right?
He does. He's
Right.
like, right.
He does, yeah.
You're right. This is the assignment. This is what I'm supposed to do.
I just don't know that it works on him, you know? Just don't know he's cut out for this.
Sorry, you're a casualty of this movie, dude. It's just not your movie.
Yeah.
Although we are talking about him more than anybody else, so maybe it worked. It seems like we're talking,
but we're talking about his absence of importance to this movie. Like
when you watch the movie, he kind of fades into the background.
Right. We're talking about him because somebody wanted him there, and we're just like, you don't work.
Well, my impression was that Parks actually leads a lot more of the this is the scientist, the meteor hunter, because he leads he kind of directs like, okay, I know what we should do in this. I like the way that whenever you find a body in a boat, there's a scientist guy. Doc, get over there. You check it. He's like, I deal with meteors, but dead body.
But it's like, I did study anatomy in college, so I can give you my best guess.
You're the highest ranking authority here.
Right.
And so they have that scene that all of these movies have to have. This takes place in the cistern, where they talk about like, okay, what do we know about these things?
Right.
These things are they probably fed on the meteor, and they grew big. They don't hunt like regular mosquitoes. They just seem to want to kill. Okay.
Right. Because there was a whole explanation from Meg. It was just like, usually mosquitoes feed on the blood and then go back and feed their babies or their eggs. But these ones seem to just want to kill.
That's right, because she's a park ranger.
She's a park ranger. Right. Who has a minor in science somewhere.
So
she did want to grab the decimated mosquito from the very beginning of the movie and take it back to the school,
to the lab. Yeah,
got a scientific mind. She's trying to figure this shit out.
So they end up waiting till morning, and then the survivors then escape, and then they find a farmhouse, and then they're like, okay, we got to go in there and board it up.
Well,
for nighttime is coming because we can't make it to the city from here, and there's no phone, so it's like, all right, boarding it up.
So Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, so there's a lot of boarding everything up.
A lot of boarding
with wood that
how would you grade the boarding up?
I thought it was poorly done. I mean, we were talking about, Sean, I understand your logic that like I said, why don't they nail the board straight, like horizontally or vertically, but instead of putting them on like a 45-degree angle every time.
Trying to cover the most ground.
Yes, and I get it maybe like if you made like an X shape, it's more structurally sound, but they're not doing that. They're just sloppily like
it's not good.
There's no, and like we see the one guy nail down the cellar door just on the one side. It's like, dude, did not finish the job.
It's like we put a bunch of shitty like thin boards and we put two big boards behind. It's like you could have done this different. Like there was no planning in there.
You could have covered it the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So the boarding up is not good, especially since later on when things do happen, mosquitoes crash right through.
It doesn't matter. They just immediately like punch through the boards. I mean, I thought there'd be some kind of
resistance.
But no.
Right.
Hendrix is assigned to go check the basement. He goes down there and he's like, "Okay, there's nothing down here." And
he's
and
like,
then
"Good
we're
enough."
like, "No." A little door opens and we're like, "There's something," but we don't know what it is.
Oh yeah, because a door closes and we see a shadow.
Yep.
And we're just like, something's down there. It's gonna come back later.
So, we get a lot of heart to heart. This is where the characters can sit and talk about their knob experience.
Yeah, 3 tours. That dude did 3 tours of knob. Okay, and so did what's his nuts?
And Hendrix and Parks had done.
Hendrix is 20 years old.
Yeah.
That man was not knob.
Yeah. But Ray, he survived Boy Scouts or something like that.
Yeah, you try being a weeblo. It's real hard.
And then the sound, oh God, here they come. Okay, and then they're under attack. The mosquitoes swarm the house.
Yep.
We see exterior shots. They're all over the place.
Yep.
Then they start breaking in. And so there's a lot more shotgunning and all that.
There is, but also one of our characters finds a weapon.
Oh,
that
yeah.
he's going to use.
Oh, right. Right.
To
This is Gunnar Hansen.
This is Gunnar Hansen.
You guessed it. Found a chainsaw.
Found a chainsaw. A big one.
Yeah.
I like
Hero shot.
Hero
What was
shot. It's
the
like,
line?
oh God, I haven't handled one of these in 20 years.
That was it. Which exactly 20 years since.
Exactly 20 years. It's like, oh, this is why this man's in this movie.
Yep.
God bless him.
So they put him back with a chainsaw. He does get to chainsaw at least one
cool.
flying
He
mosquito
does.
as it breaks
A couple
in the house.
of them. I do wonder, and I haven't done the research on it. I do wonder if this is the first movie in 20 years in which he has handled a chainsaw. Like if this is the moment.
Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers was like 1987.
Oh, was it 87? Oh, my bad.
Linnea
Okay.
Quigley.
All right, my bad.
I think she has the chainsaw.
I was gonna
Has
say,
that
'cause
been
I'm like-
done on the
'cause I'm-
show?
No,
All right.
Oh, all right. Putting up
Well,
on the list.
yeah.
Well, I mean, come on.
Bad
We've done
isn't going to
bad
stop
isn't
us.
True.
true.
Maybe it has improved in the
Yeah.
years.
When was the last time you saw it, Colin?
Probably 40 years.
Okay, well, or the reason to
We're
bring
bringing it back. We're bringing it back.
So
I was hoping it wasn't the first time because I'm like 20 years. Somebody had to have had this
Yeah.
idea before
Yeah.
that. Okay, just making sure.
So there's an assault by the mosquitoes,
Yes.
and then I think I can't
discovery
remember
of the
why they
basement?
go down into the basement. Oh, because there's a brief moment where they're like, okay, we got to board everything back
Yeah.
up again. And you're like, well, what's the point of this? Because it didn't work a minute ago
Yeah.
on your first round. But they go down in the basement to check on Hendrix's boarding up job, and they find out he didn't explore the whole basement. What's down there?
A ton of eggs.
Eggs,
Just
like Alien.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like Godzilla, Madison Square Garden.
Oh,
all the
they
eggs.
yeah,
Yeah,
there you go, yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh shit!
What's down there, Colin? A nice composite shot.
Yeah.
Of millions of eggs.
Yes.
There's
what's down
thousands
there.
of them down there. Then the guy comes up and is like, yeah, he's right. There's like hundreds or thousands down there. So, oh shit, we are now sitting on the top of the.
It's looking bleak.
The egg, the
Right,
hive.
because they had been seeing gamma radiation on his little instrument, on the scientist's little instrument. He's been picking up
The
gamma
Geiger
radiation,
counter?
like there was sure,
Yeah.
the Geiger counter, like that there was something going on, but they couldn't figure it out. Like there was a big deposit of.
He was
radiation.
he thought it was broken and was trying to fix it because
Right.
he's like, this thing's acting as if we're sitting on top of a nuke.
yeah,
That's
it's
what
like
he
off
says,
the
so-
charts, and they couldn't
Yeah.
figure out why. Now we know.
And that didn't tip them off to go investigate the basement. Like
Yeah.
this thing's going off so intensely in other words' house. Maybe,
but
go
no, they
investigate.
trusted Hendrix, and
Yeah.
look what that got them.
We're missing. We never do get a queen mosquito,
No,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not missing it.
Yeah,
the big one. So
they were all big, so I'm fine with
Yeah,
it.
I was gonna say unless they all just formed together into one
Yeah.
just giant
I don't
proboscis.
think this. I don't think this movie had money to do a queen, so
No,
let's
Maybe
save
not.
that for the sequel.
So Parks again comes up with this is what we need to do to actually survive and just so if we destroy the hive.
No. It's not a thing to survive because his plan does not equal their survival.
What's his plan?
Blow everything up and maybe we get out.
So the plan.
I mean, I get. I think this is what you got to do.
Well,
with
we
this
gotta
movie.
blow up
It
the
is.
house.
I agree,
I
but
get that.
the fact that anybody talks about survival is
Why do
just
they
like,
keep talking about going on the roof?
right? What are they going to ride the shingles off in the
Yeah,
explosion and then hopefully
seriously.
land on something
The fucking-
soft?
And how many stories is this house? Like,
Like
three or four?
stories.
Yeah,
Enough. We're just
Yeah.
like, okay, you're going to go to the top and just be blown into space.
Yeah,
okay,
why not
whatever.
just run out the
It's
front?
a-
That was the
It's a
ultimate goal. It's like we
questionable
get to the roof. She's like,
Yeah,
what's
why?
after that?
Because we're gonna, so they're gonna flood the house with gas. They're gonna break all the gas. That's why they went downstairs.
Right.
They're gonna
Right.
do
It's
the
like
gas
they do-
mains downstairs.
Which I don't think you need to do.
No.
No.
Like if you can blow up the gas lines at the top of the house,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it'll lead to the bottom of the house.
So their
You
plan,
could just turn the stove on,
as many
toss a
movies
match,
have
and walk
told
out.
us,
Yeah.
but you're not gonna get enough gas that way. Well, you
You
just
gotta
take
let
the
it go.
stove
You gotta
out
let go
from
for
the
it. Yeah.
anyway.
right? Pull the
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
We know
whatever.
many ways to blow up a house. You
Right,
know?
many, but they have to go
Well,
back
there's
down to the
also,
basement.
Like,
Yeah.
so they're gonna fill the house with gas.
Yeah.
While they're inside it.
and
Then
Yep.
use it dumb way.
Then they're
Michaela's
going to-
favorite.
My favorite. I was thinking about this. I was trying to resist Googling because I was trying to focus on it. But I was like, how much would it cost to install a dumbwaiter in my house? Like, because there's got to be
just to have one.
just to have one.
All right, I want you to figure out a price point for this because I'm like, if it's affordable, let's do this for you.
because it's like a pulley system.
I want to
It's
give
like,
you this.
it can't be that hard, right? And I was thinking about where I'd put it, and I'm pretty sure there's a spot in my kitchen I could do it to go down in the basement. The thing is
your laundry upstairs or downstairs?
downstairs.
Ooh,
So that's what I'm saying.
There you go.
But yeah, I wish I had a 2-story house to get a little more mileage out of it. Having
Sure,
a ranch
sure,
house
sure.
isn't as fun.
Yeah, you don't
but-
have enough room in the
Yeah.
walls now. You've only got like what?
Yeah,
like
I
a
know.
Foot?
Yeah, not
you don't
too
even
much.
have that.
Yeah.
You got half a foot or something.
Right, I know. Yeah, because this one in this movie especially is huge.
Yeah.
This is one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. It's like a
Yeah.
commercial
Well,
dumbwaiter.
because you have to be able to fit a person in it for the point of the plot.
Sure. If,
Yeah.
If H2O trying to send anything.
All right, so
Yes.
let me get this straight. We are going to flood the house with gas,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
And then each character, of which I believe there are like 5 at this point,
Mm-hmm.
right, are going to each ride a pulley system dumb raider, which they
Individually.
individually have to pull each
Up
other
3 floors.
up to the roof.
Yeah.
Which I like the idea that the dumb raider comes out on the roof.
Yep.
Close enough, I guess.
Yep.
That's never
We'll
explained.
never know.
And we're going to do this within 3 minutes because we're going to set a timer.
Yeah.
Parks, being the mathematician that he is, sets a detonator.
A clock radio.
Okay, I'm for it. And then we're going to open all the windows so we can let all the bugs come in. Now, if you fill the house with gas and you open all the windows, it seems like the volume of gas would then escape.
Dissipate.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Unless there was enough gas to stay inside the house until
Okay.
you could blow it up.
Can't think
Which
about
is
that.
why the timer is so short.
Right. Okay. Because we're going to open the windows, the bugs are going to come in, then we're going to blow them up. Somehow we're going to magically
Somehow.
be
Right.
outside. Of
Yeah.
course,
The part of the plan that is their survival is really not well thought out.
no. And so the movie cheats with time because it takes 10 minutes for that 3-minute timer to run out as each character makes it up. However, I think Hendrix, as he's going up,
yeah.
the pulley breaks.
Yep.
So I think Ray and Meg make it to the roof.
Yeah.
And then Hendrix is going up. The pulley
Right.
breaks. He falls to the basement. Does he
Right.
die? Did he die in the basement?
Because
I don't remember what happened to
Hendrix.
Right. I was thinking about this just before you asked that question. I'm like, I don't remember what happens to Hendrix.
I think that they don't show him dead, but there's like,
But I think he dies,
and he
yeah.
falls. The dumbwaiter falls to the basement.
Either way, he
presumably
blows out at a
kills him.
certain point. Yeah, so dead, we'll say.
Gunnar Hansen then is like, because Parks is like, you got to get upstairs, and Gunnar Hansen's like, no, like this is my moment, right? The bad guy redeeming himself, he is going to sacrifice himself for the team.
There you go.
And chainsaw a door.
There it is.
Much like Leatherface
Yes.
did 20 years prior.
A door that has a 2K light behind it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say
That's the moon.
Yep.
that the moon. Yeah, the moon is behind him. The moon is in for the night, and it's right behind that door.
And Parks is now trapped on the bottom floor, and he's like, come and get me, you know, like mosquitoes as they fly
Right,
into
he's
the house.
predatoring, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Kill me, do it, kill me."
But
And we get lime green proboscis coming
Yeah.
after him,
Yeah.
so it is very predatorish.
unsheathing
Oh,
themselves.
unsheathing
Yeah,
the
so
proboscis.
But there is a telltale moment here that we all called where, because he is right next to an
Oh, yeah.
ancient refrigerator and reaches up at some point to tap on it to lure the bugs to him,
Yeah.
and we're like, he's going to get in the
Gonna get in the
refrigerator.
fridge.
And live
I was
through this.
hoping. I was just like, get in the fridge.
Yep.
And he did.
And he did.
Now I know that the
Okay,
idea,
the Spielberg. All right, the Spielberg element. I want to talk about it for a second
Okay.
because we get
Lay it out for me.
all right, here we get the fridge riding the nuke moment.
Yes.
We get that. I'm going to say the shotgun that what's his name has for most of the movie is the shotgun that the Raptor trainer has in Jurassic Park, which came out a year before, right? With so that one. Also, the War of the Worlds at the very beginning. Spielberg. I know it's after,
Yeah.
but it's still a connection. Spielberg did the War of the Worlds. These people like Spielberg. There's
Or
like
these
there's like a
people-
cosmic
but they
thing
all
within
come
this.
from the same.
Yeah.
Like they're drawing. They all saw the same movies
Yes.
as Spielberg did in the 50s.
Yes,
and
they
60s.
did. Yes,
So they're like drawn from the same pop culture pool.
indeed.
I think the idea was that those old refrigerators, I remember as a kid hearing,
Lead?
because we were always, like, yeah, we're going to get nuked by Russia at some point. You're supposed to hide in the
We still
refrigerator
might, Colin.
because they're like lined with lead.
Yeah, lead
I don't think it protects you from an explosion
Propulsion?
in the.
Yeah.
Okay, so But
We're at least gonna have a concussion from getting rocked around in there.
yeah. You're gonna be you'd be dead.
Yeah.
But
2 movies have told me I won't be, Colin.
do we get to see Gunnar Hansen get killed?
He does swings the chainsaw to cut the gas line, and then we cut to the exterior. So he goes down with the ship.
Right.
Okay.
The
What the hero does. See, he redeemed himself. See?
Yep, he did from being a
it creates a
asshole
spark that lights the ahead 3 seconds before the timer was supposed to go, and our heroes.
So is this a composite shot?
Yes,
with them running away with that exploding. Okay,
composite, yeah, and then the house explodes.
Because I was too excited. I was like, "What's going to happen?"
to notice. Get off, and it's like boom, and the whole thing goes up, and all of the bugs are magically killed. Now,
credits.
What I wanted. Well, no. Because
what'd you want?
Well, what I wanted was that refrigerator to be found somewhere
elsewhere.
Else.
Yeah,
it was
I wanted
blown out of the house.
Yeah.
If Meg and
Ray
were just like recovering from that, and then a fridge went
landed. Yeah.
Then they
That's
open
what I
it
want.
and like he's still alive. It's like, whoa, what a ride! Or something.
Yeah, go for it. This is a giant mosquito movie. Go for it.
But they sift through the rubble of the house, and sure enough, Parks is there, and like, aha! They don't make him like this anymore, and
frigid air.
Yep, the 3 of them escape into the morning daylight, surviving the nightmare of the mosquito.
There it is.
All right, well, that brings us to the
credits.
Yep.
Straight to credits.
So now I guess we're going to tell you whether or not we would recommend that you watch this movie. So stay tuned. We're going to tell you. But first, we're going to pause for a brief moment and read some of your mail. And in order to do that, we're going to have to summon our mailman. His name's Igor. Bring us that mail.
Masters, the mail. I've got the mail. So many letters. Our followers are rising.
Why, thank you, Igor.
Do you think he has a proboscis?
Oh.
Have you seen it? I haven't.
No. All right, Michaela. He does have a proboscis.
Where you go?
I'll tell you the story later. It's like I don't want to put.
I haven't earned his trust yet.
I don't want to put Igor's business out in for everybody. But you know, he trusted me. I think he'll trust all of you.
Okay.
I'll tell you the story later.
I respect that.
Well, we should let the
probably falls under HIPAA. He is our employee, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't have a talk with him. I was gonna say I don't want to get a call from HR.
No. We want to keep that clear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we should let the good folks at home know how they can participate on this interactive portion of our show by following along on Facebook.
Facebook.com/SaturdayNightFreakShow.
On X.
@SatFreakShow.
By email.
SaturdayNightFreakShow@yahoo.com.
Or on Instagram and Threads at Saturday Night Freak Show. About tonight's movie, Mosquito. Travis Legler writes in and says, "This is a classic from my childhood. I saw this and Day of the Dead on something like HBO or Showtime. Between the guy being drained of blood in Mosquito and the army guy getting ripped in half in Day of the Dead, I developed a very quick understanding of my gag reflex as a child. And also, I love the nod that Gunnar gives to Texas Chainsaw in this, so enjoy."
It's a full nod.
Yeah. Well, and a wink.
Yeah, nod,
And
a wink,
and a nudge.
and a handshake, and a ha.
This is where he earns his
elbow.
money. You know what I liked about it, though? It was, usually when you cast somebody like that, they fly in for a day. They're like in 3 scenes and they're out.
Right,
He's like in this movie.
Right. Well, that
He
would
went
be,
to Michigan to film this movie.
He did.
Yeah.
No, that would be Frank Stallone at the end of Night Claws.
Night Claws.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whichever. That's the come in for a day. Yeah,
because they got to save their money. They're like, yeah.
No, God bless Gunnar Hansen.
Last week we watched a movie called Vice Squad. We hope you were able to hear it. Sorry about that. If you delete and re-download,
delete it, re-download. Yep. With some issues, but you should be able to get
there
it.
now.
Yeah.
Michael Whitaker
worth listening to. It's a good one.
Yeah, smash your phone and then go buy a new one. You should be able to download it pretty easily.
Get the correct Vice Squad. Michael Whitaker says, "I'm tempted to watch the movie, but I also had Saturday off. So I pre-gamed with an edible and a few drinks, so it's more like the movie happened at me."
Yeah. That does describe how that feels.
Right. I love when movies happen to you.
I think that's why I like getting stoned and going to the theater, because then it feels like, because you can't look at your phone or anything in the theater, so it's so immersive that it's just like,
right?
I am lost in that movie for 2 hours.
I have found that I'm better to immerse myself in movies.
Yeah.
If I do that beforehand. Even at home, I'm just like, all right.
Because you focus in on it.
You're just like, what's this going to do? Yeah. I just watched Doctor Strangelove in that way just this week, and I'm just like, right on, man.
I also think,
we're all fucked. Come out of that movie.
I also think like it makes me feel a little dumber, which makes me not see plot twists coming so easily.
This is why I need to do that in watching certain movies, so that I don't nitpick at everything.
Exactly.
And I just
let it wash over you.
Let it happen. It helps so much.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
I think if I had seen Thanksgiving completely sober, I would have been like predicting every single beat of it.
Right. You probably would have been like me. And
but
just like,
I was
sometimes you just need like the fog of war in your head to be like, let's do it, man.
Right.
But then do you remember the movie?
Oh, yeah. Because it makes an impact. Yeah.
You might remember there's certain specific details you just like, I don't remember that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's weird. But the major impact of it gets you. So, yeah.
All right,
you enjoy it that much more.
Thank you, everybody, for writing in. We really appreciate it. Now we're going to go.
The one person who saw this movie tonight.
Travis Legler saw Mosquito. Okay, so we're going to go around the table, tell you whether or not we would recommend it to you, starting with
Colin.
Oh, shit.
What did you think of Mosquito?
I guess, this is kind of the reason that we do this show, right? Like, there's a lot I liked about it. I mean, I'm going to admit it's not a good movie, but in some ways it's like a great creature feature movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to, if you know what you're getting when you're going into it. And I think I was well enough prepared. I watched the trailer and I'm like, okay.
I did not.
I didn't either.
But watching the trailer, I knew that the trailer gives away that there's, they come from space.
Okay. Yeah. Didn't know that.
See the monsters. So it's like, oh, wow, they're actually like practical. But even then, I guess maybe that's why I like, I remember not liking Silent Hill that we watched a little while ago.
Right.
Because it had the resources, right? And it was so self-serious. And like, you're supposed to take this all seriously. And I just didn't have the same respect for that I have for like the scrappy filmmakers who make these, things, who know they're not, trying to make
we're not making high art.
Right.
It's like, this is a movie about giant mosquitoes. So you kind of park your expectations and then it's like, okay, so what can you give me? They give me the effects work, I guess, that you're expecting. They exceed that bar. You know, it's like, I see mosquitoes, these giant, prosthetic things.
Giant proboscises.
Well, I mean, what are they, rubber or foam rubber or plastic or whatever they are, but they're convincing and not realistic, but they're physical and they're there and they're puppeted and there's a lot of it. And I'm like, this is an achievement, for this crew pulling this off as well as they did for, it's a ridiculous concept, but I mean,
you gotta respect.
I respected it. I respected the effects, makeup, and the gore and all that other stuff. Didn't really have respect for the cast. It's like
true,
but that's not why you're there.
I feel like we can all give a universal 3 review of this movie. Just like, I think we all feel the same way.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But I had a good time with it. So I would, recommend it to connoisseurs of creature features. Michaela, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Bats, I think,
Yeah, right.
And like I said, it's crazy because that was later and more money, like significantly later and more money. And so, and more star power even.
I think so. If it went, Lou Diamond Phillips versus Gunnar Hansen.
And Dina Meyer, right? Yeah.
Dina Meyer,
Yeah, it's... I agree, Colin. It's not a good movie, but I feel like you hear the title and you got it. You get where your expectations should be. Mosquitoes are a great idea for a creature feature because we all fucking hate them as is. They're already our natural enemy, and you don't have... Honestly, like, all this movie did was make them bigger. To make them, like, that's it. But you could have kept them normal size and still had made a movie about it because they suck that much. Like, just like arachnophobia, like...
Yeah.
And... you don't have to invent anything to be like, this is what they're doing to you. We all know they suck our blood. Like that's just
and to
it's all
just make
built
that
in.
bigger is just like, huh?
Yeah, it's so easy. Like I can't believe someone didn't do it sooner because it's so there.
I think there was a movie of the same 1993 called Skeeter, which is what the original movie was supposed to be called.
Gotcha.
But because that was coming out, they couldn't call it that. But there was a similar movie like that. There has been another one called Sting or something like that. There's been other ones about this, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was better than I expected it to be. Honestly, I thought it was going to be more like a Sci-Fi Channel quality movie. It's better than that for sure. And like it knows it's stupid and it's campy and it's dumb. And I appreciate that it's not self-serious too, Colin. I think that it knows like what level it's working at, and it's like just meeting you there. And
it's succeeding.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. But I don't feel like they're under delivering on what they promise at all. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you have to know what they're promising.
Right.
So, I definitely recommend it. I think it's good I think our audience would enjoy it. It's a fun time. So, and like I said, the effects were so much better than expected. I actually enjoyed them. So, instead of being like, ow, this hurts to look at, Sean, what'd you think?
Well, can I ask you a question? You mentioned popcorn before, and it finally occurred to me. Popcorn was the movie that it wasn't Matinee. I said last week it was Popcorn.
Popcorn, gotcha.
Had Mosquito.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So
because they had the big flying bug through the theater.
Something.
Matinee, I think it's like an ant movie. Or something?
You might be right.
It was Mant.
Mant. Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But so Popcorn had the scene that I think I was hoping they would do in this, where like they're driving in the car and the giant mosquito lands and sticks its proboscis through the roof and into the guy's head and sucks it.
That is what I was expecting at some point in this movie.
Right. But if you like popcorn, like I think this popcorn and this might be a fun double feature even. So I love popcorn. Yeah, that was a good time. Sean, what did you think?
Gotta respect this movie. I didn't think coming into this that I would. I didn't know because I brought this not knowing. I think I watched parts of the trailer. I definitely remember the guy getting all his innards sucked out and his eyeballs popping. I remember that from the trailer, and I'm just like, okay, if they're doing that, I'm in for it. And wow, I was very surprised by this movie. I gotta respect the effects work that they did for this, because it was far beyond what I thought this movie was going to be. Again, I think I was expecting something more closer to Night Claws. But if you got to know what you're getting into coming into this in order to enjoy it. But I think Mosquito from 1994, a giant creature movie. You shouldn't be surprised by what you get coming into this. Had fun. I respect what they did for this. Very surprised by it. I came into this not thinking I was going to recommend it, but I'm going to recommend it because what they accomplished, I was very surprised by, and that's always good. I love being surprised by a movie. Again, the cast and the script writing maybe let you down a little bit, but again, that's this movie, and I don't think you're coming here for Oscar-winning acting, but everything else kind of lives up to it. So Mosquito, recommend it. Wow. Watch it.
It is a surprise because that means it's three of us have recommended it. Means
three.
You have to watch it now.
Okay, so next week we're going to watch a movie that's chosen by
Holly, who's not here.
What? Well, I'm sorry. I'm not prepared.
No, Colin's
She's
got
not here, but she says next week we are going to watch a Brian De Palma movie.
All right.
A supernatural Brian De Palma movie.
Oh,
I didn't know he did
Fury.
All right, I know nothing about this. I've not seen this.
Supernatural psychic powers. Fury. John Williams score.
Oh, wow.
Next week.
Okay.
On the Saturday Night Freak Show. We hope you'll join us. And until then, ladies and germs, the basement is going dark.